nearly there now. Just taking it easy today. Got a couple of errands to run, a couple of things to do. I've put together a playlist on Spotify just for me to have to hand if I decide at any point during the marathon, probably towards the end I suppose, that I need to just get a little bit of a motivation for music, which I love. I've got a couple of anthems on there, a few cheesy hits, just things to either make me smile or make me step up a little bit more and sort myself out, get the pacing on point. So that's what I've been doing really this morning, just taking it easy. And yeah, it's not so much fun, this tapering thing. I do enjoy being able to get out and about. Now the weather this morning I believe is mirroring the weather we're going to have on Sunday. So 7 o'clock this morning, 0 degrees, 8 o'clock, 3 degrees. So the sun is out, beautiful sun. And then 9 o'clock now, it's about 7 degrees. So it's not going to be the most kind of beautiful warm weather, certainly at the early part of the day. No doubt it will brighten up, and the wind is there as well. So just things to bear in mind. It's good to have a similar weather leading up to the event rather than just having this sort of one-off particularly warm day. No, last year it was the week before was snow and then suddenly it's really warm. Anyway, so I've got a couple of things also to do this afternoon. I've started to put together my training plan for the road to 25k basically, which is the next race coming up after marathon. I've given myself the week after marathon as just kind of a bit of a blank week. Whatever happens, happens. And then thereafter I've got 4 weeks of planned runs in place, some easies, some steadies, some fartleks, some intervals, some tempos, and obviously the long runs as well. I know I can do the distance, I'm not so concerned about that, but it's just making sure that I've got some runs in place to start to develop that speed and longevity of pace over time as well. So that's the next race. I thought it might be quite fun that every time I book a race I start to tweak some plans, so I've got something routine in place. I am enjoying having a kind of calendar, if you like, and a plan to stick to. That works really well for me. It's the kind of person I am. I do enjoy that and I respond well to it. So it's just keeping those things in place and tweaking them as I need to whilst we move through the year and I start to book more races. Any ideas for races, please do let me know. I'm pretty flexible. Obviously UK is much easier for me to get around, and I'm in the southeast of the UK, so that helps as well. But yeah, any ideas would be most welcomed, and I'm looking forward to supporting local organised runs as well as more kind of widely known as well. Just to quickly round up this video for today, something quite cool happened earlier. Long story short, I spent quite a bit of time this morning doing work, so I sat down for a few hours and I was watching some YouTube videos in the background and stumbled across 2 races that I was aware of but hadn't really kind of given it too much consideration or thought. And I hadn't really dug any deeper than just knowing the name of them and knowing that people that I follow happen to have run them or plan to run them. They're called the South Downs Way and the North Downs Way. They're 50 and 100 mile races. You can choose either distance. They happen around this time of year, around about April time. And obviously the other day in my bucket list I mentioned about doing a 100 miler, and I hadn't quite really thought too much about the fact that there may be some very local races that are 100 miles. Now, of course, in terms of training and being ready for that, I'm a long way off. I'm literally miles away. But whilst I was thinking about that and kind of exploring it and checking out the website and looking into volunteering and all sorts of different things, I happened to do an Instagram as well, and there was a live stream on the Unived page with Harry Runs, and I thought I'd just throw a question in there. And the question was, it was literally just kind of off the cuff question. You know, how long typically after your first marathon would it potentially take to be able to run a 50 miler? And I was really fortunate he was able to respond to the message. He chose to respond to the question, and he just sort of said, you know, if you're doing a trail marathon as your first marathon, then 6 to 9 months you may all be ready for a 50 miler. We obviously understand that everybody's different and all sorts of different things like that. And then he sort of said if it was a road marathon, then you're looking at a longer time because you want to get into the trails. And he just came up with the suggestions really of doing some trail races, doing some 5Ks, 10Ks, 20Ks, not rushing into it, wanting to enjoy the process. You know, he mentioned that he felt like he jumped into it too soon. He thought it was ready when he wasn't. He kind of got to the stage of races where he didn't want to be doing it anymore, and obviously that's not what I want to do, but I just thought it was quite interesting that everything sort of fell into place today. It was quite a fascinating moment that I saw these videos. They came up as suggested recommended watches. I'd intended to watch them anyway, but I hadn't got around to doing so. I realised how local they were to me. I can actually access some of the route relatively close to where I live. And I started thinking, okay, well, look, it's on the bucket list. And of course, we've got to have these bucket list items. You've got to be having these ideas that are a little bit beyond what you feel is possible. That's the idea of a bucket list. There's no point just keeping it really simple and saying, oh, I'd like to just knock a minute off my time and that'll do me fine. So anyway, all I was just kind of putting out there before I finish this video for today is just to say, I now realise that there are some local opportunities for me to do these kind of 50 and 100 mile races, which I'd no doubt have to do anyway before I even considered any of these, if you like, named, branded races out in the US. But I just thought, oh, that's quite cool. And in the meantime, I'll just continue to kind of plug away and enter different races as and when I see them at shorter distances, some road, some trail, and just enjoy what I'm doing. And all the time I'm enjoying it, totally cool. So I thought I'd just let you know that little piece of information before I round up today. And yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to catch up with you soon. One more thing before I hop off for the day. I'm going to try my very best, if I can, on Saturday when I get down to Brighton to go live at some point. I don't expect anybody to be on. I'm just going to see if I can record something a little bit live from there, just so you can get a feel and a kind of a flavour of what it's like. And hopefully it'll be vibrant and exciting and colourful and busy and loud, just because I don't know how much footage I'm going to capture from the race. I'm going to do my best, but obviously I'm going to be focusing as well on what I'm doing. So if I can just get something to kind of document the day, that would be cool. So Saturday, I'll try and do a live. I don't know what time yet. I don't know if I can even announce that I'm going to be going live. I don't know how that all works, but I thought I'd just leave you with that thought that I'm going to try and get on live if I can.